With that, I'd like to ask Milton Jones, Executive Chairman of CertusBank, to come up and talk about how community banks deliver impact. Milton.
I think you have his mic, Jeff.
Thanks, good afternoon. CertusBank, and Certus is Latin for certain, was formed at the end, or following one of the worst crises in financial services in modern history. Why did we do that? What were we really trying to do? We were bold enough to say that 4 people could come together with over 100 years of banking experience and make a difference and have an impact in a targeted area. Now, why are we here? We certainly have met Vince Molinari. We understand the global impact opportunities that Gate can make happen. But we think our model and our example may be a good one to replicate in other areas around the world. Ours happens to be in 4 states in the Southeast primarily: North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida. But it's also spread to other areas, and I think that's a part that we're kind of hearing a lot more about. When we talked about being an organization that provides financial solutions, not just products, what we found is that that's kind of an issue. I mean, we've all kind of talked around it a little bit today. The fact is that there is no magic bullet. There is no kind of secret sauce per se. But the real focus is bringing all the capabilities you have together and having them and remaining focused around how they apply. So here's what we've done in 2.5 years. We started out by raising $500 million in capital. In capital commitments. We moved beyond that and started putting companies together. You know, one of the things that was happening in America was that banks were failing. We bought failed banks and turned them around and made them work better. We also coupled along with that companies like that provided services like mortgages, which were important to turning around the economy, that provided brokerage services, and importantly, provided loans and capital to small businesses. All of these pieces came together to create the company that we are today. In 2.5 years, 10 companies put together, $2 billion in total assets, $300 million of assets under management in the trust area, the first national charter issued in America after the passage of Dodd-Frank, the first trust charter issued in New York State from different fund investors, from Gates' great efforts, and so on, that having a focused plan, having a strong commitment to executing that strategy, and one of the things we take a lot of pride in is that, we wrote our strategy from our heart, that makes a big difference. And so in that regard, it doesn't necessarily have to take long, but it does take a very focused and key plan. And that it also has to focus around who you're serving. And for us, the customer is always at the center of what we do every day that we open our doors. So as our customers' needs have grown, our reach has grown. And I think as you look at every area that I've heard about us trying to talk about having impact in today, and those that we probably won't get a chance to hear about today, certainly there are people to be served. We start there and grow from there, because that's what really kind of helps close some of the gap and helps make some of the actions sustainable, which is critical. Sustainability is critical. And I think when you have facilitators and platforms like Gate and others, that it really kind of helps get companies ready, then institutions like ours can sort of take it from there, because then they become more bank grade, if you will, more investable, because in the early stages, sometimes they may not be. What we found is that we have had an impact in some areas that frankly were down on the other side of a pretty big crisis in this country. We've got 750 teammates. We've got some companies that would have been out of business that are now operating very, very well, and some communities that are benefiting from the capabilities, the mortgages. We originate $1.2 billion in mortgages this year that are there to help turn around the housing market, which also creates jobs. And we could sort of go through the entire ripple, if you will. So that's a little bit about why we're here. And certainly we are interested in looking at expanding our frontiers, to other continents as well. But right now, we're certainly very focused, and we think that with the focus we have, it can be replicated, and that can lead to even greater opportunity. Thanks.